and welcome. I think as you well know, that the UB is one of the premier Research One institutions, one of the AAU institutions. So you should be, proud of, being admitted to, one of the top, the research universities in the nation. And then graduate school of education is recently ranked, one of the top 15%, the education schools across the nation. And then, our online programs are also ranked, 25 across the nation. So I think we are very proud of you, in our programs. But I think you should be also very proud of joining us, and we really look forward to working with you in the coming years. And I think that there are many definitely challenges that you would face as new students. And I think that at the individual level, you will definitely need help from your faculty and staff. And I hope that this orientation will help you navigate better that kind of complex the system, because UB is a really large institution. So particularly those of you from the non-UB undergraduate institutions probably need more support down the road. But I think that we have excellent the staff and the faculty members, and as I said, we are Research One institution. That means you have access to the faculty that not only introduce other people's research, but their own cutting edge research. So I think it's a really great opportunity for you to work with the faculty that have a reputation for their own work in the field. And then I think that the other thing that you need to think about is kind of networking with other students and the people in the field, because faculty are definitely the #1 resources, but also other important resources in the graduate education is the other students. So I strongly encourage you to form a study group and whatever form of the collaboration you build throughout the program, and then ultimately that those friends will be become the professionals in your field after graduation, and then you also have a connection to the alumni. We have a very strong the alumni the network. So we hope that we will be benefit from that network. And then, finally, I want to say that the challenges that we have is not only within our school, but also actually beyond, our school as well. So the community and society have a lot of challenges, and we always talk about, information access and the equality of the access to information, etc. But I think that you need to think about what is your role in the society and the community, after you graduate from the program. So definitely our goal is to better prepare you for those kinds of social challenges that we face. But I think you also need to bring those kinds of challenges into the classroom so that the faculty can work with you to solve those kinds of problems that we face. And that's I think sort of the interactive learning experience. So it's not one way, the education, but actually you also bring your own knowledge and experience from your own, the context of, the work and environment. So I really hope that you will enjoy the orientation and also, succeed in our program. So thank you.
Thank you, folks, for coming tonight. I'd like to echo the warm welcome that you just got from our dean, and just encourage you to use the opportunity here tonight, not only to listen to what the presenters have to say, but to ask the questions that you have. But by no means should you consider this your only opportunity to ask questions, okay? My door is typically open, and I'm delighted to chat with you at any time, by phone, by email, or in person if you've got things that you want to chat about, okay? And I think you'll find the same for the faculty that I work with up there on the 5th floor. So tonight, the plan is for me to tell you a little bit more about the program and about the institution that you've joined, and to answer your questions, and then you're going to hear from some other folks. So we'll get started. Just a little bit about UB. You heard some of the good things already, but this is a flagship institution within the SUNY system. It is the largest and most comprehensive campus, and that brings with it a lot of resources that you won't necessarily find other places. So I see this as a bonus, as a good thing, especially at the graduate level. We are an AAU member at the Association of American Universities, and as was said by the Dean, this is a prestigious group of institutions, and you should be proud that you are studying among those. This institution was founded in 1846, so it's been around a while. We're still working out some kinks, but I think you'll find that having been established for quite a while does make a difference in the services that get provided to you. We have a student body of approximately 30,000 students, which makes it a reasonable medium-sized university, including about 9,500 graduate students. So you are one of almost 10,000 graduate students on campus. We have a faculty of 2,200 and a student-to-faculty ratio of 14:1. These are the kinds of things that administrators like to calculate. UB is actually first in the nation among comprehensive public research universities in terms of international student enrollment. And this also adds to the richness of your experience here. We are definitely trying to recruit more international students to this program, but you'll find yourself studying in an environment that is very much enriched by the folks that come here from all around the world. And we also have a fairly well-developed study abroad opportunities for students. Our own program does not yet have its own study abroad opportunity, but there are multiple opportunities within our field that we publicize and make known to our students. And our students do participate in those. We've got one student who's going to Britain this summer to do a study abroad experience, and that will be a 6-credit opportunity. And we had a student go to India over the Christmas break and earn 3 credits for a study abroad experience there. So there are some very interesting opportunities for you. We are a leader in international enrollment, as I said, and we're also one of the world's top 200 universities, according to the Times Higher Education ranking. And that is an important ranking that's recognized worldwide. So another final fact that I think you'll find particularly compelling is that we're among the top 10 universities nationwide for students graduating with the least debt. So we do have a tuition advantage, okay, compared to many other institutions. And I think that serves you well, too. So what about the MLS in particular? I like to call this program a great education for a great profession. So if you're the kind of person who likes helping people, if you like using computer technology to connect people and information, maybe you're the unofficial historian or archivist in your organization or community, and maybe you're the kind of person that likes to geek social media. If any of these things apply to you, you've chosen the right program. This is the place for you, and you'll be surrounded by other folks who share those similar kinds of passions. Why library and information studies at this time? Well, the bottom line is that what we do is prepare you for very interesting work in a range of rich environments. For instance, did you know that the Cooperstown Baseball Hall of Fame has a library and employs librarians? And the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as well? There's lots of interesting and quirky opportunities out there if you look for them. But the bottom line is that you'll get to work with interesting people, both as colleagues and as clients. You'll get lifelong learning opportunities, and most of the folks who come into this field are lifelong learners. They enjoy learning, they enjoy interacting with people from a range of disciplines and getting to know new things all the time. Excellent working conditions, a wide range of salary opportunities. Mobility. This is really important. There are lots of opportunities out there, folks. And I say if you don't have a passport coming into the program, I encourage you to get one, because with this degree and a passport, you can go anywhere you want to go. Okay, so keep that in mind as you encounter opportunities along the way and think about where you might want to end up. And you'll make the world a better place with the skills and knowledge that you develop over the next couple of years. This is a partial list of the kinds of positions that you can expect to prepare for in this program. Archivist, data manager, fact checker, information analyst, manager, resources manager, specialist, intelligence analyst. The CIA might come knocking, maybe the NSA. Traditional librarian roles, records manager, researcher, school media specialist, search engine optimizer, web designer. That is a very wide range of interesting opportunities that folks can take up after their degree here. You've got multiple options for study here at UB. On-campus classes, online classes, 2 summer sessions where we offer classes. We also have an advanced certificate that we offer for those who already have the degree, and you can take courses with us as a non-degree student. The degree includes 36 credit hours of coursework, including 15 hours of core requirements. You're strongly encouraged to take those first 2 listed courses in your first semester. The Introduction to Library and Information Studies, which is a broad overview course, introduces you to the field and to the multiple opportunities that are within it. And the second one there, the Introduction to Information Technology course. Those are the 2 courses that are prerequisite for not all electives, but for some of them. So getting those under your belt will prepare you to move forward in your program. And the other core courses, reference sources and services, organizational and control of recorded information, and the management course will round out that set of 5 core courses. In the program, you need a GPA of 3.0 or above for your MLS coursework. If you dip below that, we'll have a chat. All coursework must be completed within 5 years of your first semester. So you've got 5 years to do the degree. It's actually entirely possible to do the degree in 1 calendar year if you want to do if you want to really burn through. It's not something I'd recommend, because you'd miss out on interesting opportunities, especially to take advantage of the environment here. But it's possible. You can also transfer in up to 6 hours of approved graduate studies from somewhere else. And at the end of the program, you'll do a portfolio. And that's a requirement, a non-credit bearing requirement in order to graduate. And that gives you an opportunity to bring together the work that you've done over the program and to think about it, reflect on it in light of the goals and objectives for the program. At most, you can use 9 credits with a grade of F, so that's credits that aren't graded A, B, C. And if you're doing the school library and media route, you've got an extra 3 credits to do in the practicum course at the end, the LIS 525. Why might you want to study here? Lots of reasons, I would say. I would say the fact that we offer online and on-campus options speaks to our ability to meet very diverse needs and schedules. So there's a lot of flexibility there. You can earn this degree entirely online, and the students who have joined us tonight virtually are good examples of that. And some of you, in fact, who've joined us tonight are in fact intending to study entirely online. You can opt to study full-time or part-time. And again, you've got 5 years in order to finish. You can do school library and media specialization, which prepares you for teacher certification and for the ability to take up a school library and media position in a school. We also have dual degrees with music to create music librarians, and with law to prepare for legal librarianship. And the degree is accredited. This program is accredited by the American Library Association, and that is a certification that is recognized worldwide. That's an important stamp of approval, if you like, for the program. So what defines us really is affordable and high-quality education, as well as a very culturally rich area in which to live and work. If you decide to come here, if you're not already living here, you'll find that Buffalo is really a very interesting place to be. I've only been here since mid-August of last year, and I find it to be a really interesting place to live, and I enjoy it tremendously. So the online option is taught by the same faculty that teach the on-campus courses. The fact that all of those courses are delivered asynchronously, that means you don't have to meet at a specific time each week, makes those really flexible. Okay, so it's a very flexible learning option. The online is also fully accredited by the American Library Association. And the fact that you have 7 electives in addition to the 5 core courses means that you can create a program that really speaks to your passions and to your goals. So you'll work with your faculty advisor to craft a program of study that meets your individual needs. Okay, there's lots of opportunity to craft a specialization, a concentration within that set of courses. The School Library Media Specialist program is entirely online, so all of those courses are delivered online only. Students who study online are able to fully enjoy events in the department, such as speakers. We record those in this room so that they're made available after the fact for those who can't join us in person. And again, we believe that the online option is also high-quality education at an affordable cost. I want to talk a little bit about our mission. You may have skipped over this part on our website if you've taken a look at our website, but I think that the key words inherent in that statement speak to what we care about, speak to what's particularly important to us, and what we try to inculcate in the curriculum. So I've highlighted those key words for you: inclusive, diverse, competent, innovative, caring, transform lives. These are the people that we're trying to graduate, people that are passionate, who care about transforming lives through consultation, collaboration, and action research. Okay? This is what we want to bring to the world. So we value collaboration, we value cooperation. And I think that if you talk to the current students in our program, you'll find that these are values that we do encourage throughout the curriculum and throughout the life of the department. So you'll be with us for anywhere between 1 and 5 years, most of you for a couple of years, maybe 2.5 years. Average time to completion is about 24 months. These are the tuition figures for this semester. We don't yet know what the tuition is going to be in the fall, so these are approximate amounts. These aren't going to change substantially. So this gives you an idea. The place to go for the most current information is the UB Financial Services page, and you'll hear more about financial aid later tonight as well. Lots of financial aid is available in the form of loans, assistantships, fellowships, scholarships, and most of our students work part-time as well, and some work full-time while they study. There are a number of student chapters active in the school. We've got the LIS GSA, which is the group of student leaders, Graduate Student Association, that organizes a number of events and liaises with the faculty and the department. We've got the Student American Library Association chapter, a Special Library Association chapter, a Public Library Association chapter, and we also have a chapter of the American Society for Information Science and Technology. So a real range of opportunities there to connect with people who have similar interests, similar career goals, and all of those groups get together, they have events, they do tours, they do a range of things. So I encourage you to get involved to the degree that you can. Other student resources of particular importance are the library. We have a terrific library liaison here at UB. His name is Chris Hollister, and he provides wonderful service to our students and our faculty. Very happy to chat with students and to establish one-on-one consultations. So I urge you to get in touch with him. He's a great guy and very, very helpful to us. The other resource I want to point out is the Writing Center, which can provide help if you need some assistance with writing, especially if your instructors recommend that you get a little extra help. This is one of the places that you can go to. I just want to finish this bit of the evening by encouraging you again to get in touch. There are some of the ways you can do that. That information is on the website as well. But I'm happy to answer any questions right now if you have them. Yeah.
When is registration, and will we have contact with an advisor before that happens?
You've already been assigned an advisor. Once we were admitted to the program, you were assigned an advisor, so you can talk to that person anytime, okay, to get advice about how to register. But you should be getting a note about when registration is open for you. You should be seeing something in your email. Is that right?
Actually, registration is open now. So if you could look through your folder of information, you will see a roadmap in there. It is a new student roadmap to success. So that gives you all of the steps you should be following to get registered. So by all means, if you're ready and if you want to connect with your advisor, do that. As Dr. Julian pointed out, there are 2 courses you need to take as the first level. So once you know that, just follow these steps. And if you have any questions and you run into some roadblocks, as invariably we all do at times, feel free to contact our office, admissions office, or your faculty advisor. It'd be nice if you called us because we can help you out with some of these steps.
I have a question from one of the online students.
Sure, thank you.
Let me get to it. Is there a group reaching out or connecting the virtual students? Should we form a group, perhaps a Facebook group?
I would encourage the online students to form a Facebook group, but the on-campus students also reach out, and we've got a response actually from one of our student leaders here.
Yes. If there is interest in an online group, I would suggest to contact the president or vice president of the GSA, which was shown in the previous slide, the website, and everybody's contact information is up there. We're more than welcome to create new groups. Actually, we are benchmarking a new online hybrid group this summer, which is the book club, which is sponsored by Public Library Association. And that is actually being founded by me. So, yes, so we'd love to do that. We'd love to take off of that.
Thank you. And type the response to them.
Thank you.
There's another question. What is the best way to get a hold of our advisors if we are out-of-state students, email or by phone?
Yeah. Typically, it's best to try to email in the first instance, because if you phone, you may not get them right there. But if you want to chat by phone, you just have to set up a time to do that. Or Skype. Skype is also a good way to communicate.
That's all the questions I have so far.
Okay. Any other questions from you folks? No one's running from the room. This is a good thing.
You know, one of the things we noticed that most of you attending this evening have already confirmed your acceptance with us. That's the first step. So now that you have done that, then now you can follow the roadmap, and you do want to register soon. So you get the classes you need at the right time, and you have enough time to get your textbooks, etc. So the next step, as a takeaway after this evening, would be for you to begin the registration process.
We have another question.
Okay.
Where can we find a schedule of courses to help with our study plans?
Well, the courses and course descriptions are found on our website. The actual schedule is really not an issue if you're an online student. What you can do in Hub, if you follow the roadmap that Radhika mentioned, what you can do is see all the courses that are offered in the semester that you're interested in, and make your choices among those. But because it's asynchronous, it's not really about schedule, it's just about if a course is being offered or not.
A good website to use for that would be the registrar.buffalo.edu. That gives you all of the information about registration, gives you the class schedule. It also has links to tuition, etc. So that's a good website to become familiar with for all of you.
Yes.
Is there any kind of thesis associated with the degree?
No, not currently. But that doesn't mean that you can't take the time to pursue a topic of interest in an in-depth way. You can certainly do that through directed study. And I would encourage that if that's something that interests you. Something to chat about with your advisor. Would any of the current students like to add to anything that I've said? If I missed anything or glossed over anything?
Well, it's also about a large part of the graduate student program here is making your academic portfolio, which is a summary of what you've done in your classes to prove that you can do this set of skills in order to be the librarian of your choice or information specialist of your choice. What you could do also with that is take a paper that you did in your class and create a thesis from there. That's another thing that you could do.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll say, as treasurer of the LIS TSA, I will say that joining that club would also be a great way to meet more people in your program, and it's just a great networking tool to use to how we can better ourselves as we help each other out. And what Dr. Julian will not say is some of the events are very fun happy hours where we will go to local establishments and have lots of fun, all library students and no one else.
Exactly. Yeah.
Also, as if you are in the Graduate Student Association, you do know about more networking tools, and you do learn about conferences and the like. Last week, I just went to Brooklyn for the Urban Librarians Conference, and I'm being reimbursed partially for that through the Graduate Student Association, and that's pretty cool. You know, I got to network for a whole day with people in my field, in my chosen field, and I'm being partially reimbursed for that. So that's amazing, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And the department will also help support students to present work at conferences.
Yeah.
Okay, so we do top up those funds if you're actually presenting something at a conference.
I have a question. Do students in LIS have opportunity to work with the faculty on research projects?
Sure, absolutely, yeah. And if you're interested in working with a particular faculty member who's got a project that's of interest, I encourage you to just contact that individual and say, I'm really interested in what you're doing, and is there any way that I can participate in this? They may have some funding to help support you. And the other way is we do have a small number of graduate assistantships, and those are allocated to supporting faculty in their research work. And if you get one of those, you can work with a faculty member to do that. Anything else? Any other online questions?
Not at this time.
Okay. Well, then we'll move on and let's do your thing.
Alrighty. Hello. I'm Sarah Langston. If I didn't get to meet you when you came in, I'm sure I've spoke to all of you, both the students that are here and the students that are with us online. So I'm just going to quickly speak about a few administrative tasks that might hang you up through the process. So you all received a folder when you walked in. The virtual students that are not here also received a PDF with some of the similar information so they can follow along with us. So I just want to point out a few of the documents that are inside. There is a new student checklist that has a lot of great information, advisor contact information, emails and phone numbers, you know, some of the department policies that the admissions office isn't responsible for, so you can quickly get to those links and read that information. The second document that I was going to point out, which Dr. Suresh has also pointed out, was the new student roadmap. This document really is a step-by-step guide to getting to become a new student, to really become a new student at UB, from basically confirming your acceptance to registering. So you can kind of cross everything off your list. So this is these two documents are great to have. The last document that I wanted to point out is this little packet that says how to claim your UB identity. So this is just something that our office made to help new students figure out the hub system, and because if you're not a current UB student, it can be a little overwhelming. The system is a little overbearing at times, so I'm just going to walk you through a few basic steps. Obviously, you can call me at any time, and I can help you one-on-one if you're having issues, but I just wanted to do a quick overview for all of the students that are with us tonight. So, like I said, all this information is basically outlined on the new student roadmap, but sometimes it's nice to speak about it and not just have to read through everything. So the first thing I was going to talk about is confirming your acceptance and getting your UBIT name and password. I know some of you have confirmed with us, but some of you haven't, and this can be a little tricky. So what you would do is log back into GradNet with the username and password that you used to create your application. And then through that site on the status tab, you're actually going to be able to see your confirm your acceptance and see your UBIT name and person number. This is a screenshot of what the screen's going to look like when you log in, and in that upper right-hand corner will be your UBIT name and person number. So, like I said, this is the first step that you need to take. So once you've activated your UBIT name, you will be able to use the Hub Student Center. So this is, oops, I'm sorry, one back slide. There we go. This is the email that you're going to get with your one-time password. So when you activate your UBIT name, you're going to receive, this is a screenshot of exactly what the email is going to look like. We have some students that will not receive this email. If you're a previous UB student, you've already activated this at a previous time, so you won't receive this one-time password. This can be very confusing for students, so if you run into this problem, please call our office. We can help you step-by-step get this taken care of. We actually, in our office, won't be actually able to give you a password, but we can connect you with the correct office. Like I said, if you are not able to get the password, this website that's on the buffalo.edu account can tell you a step-by-step way to activate your UBIT. There's all different scenarios. So if you look at that bottom of the screen, it says if you're a returning student, if you're a new student, if you're a graduate student, and then when you click on those links, they give you step-by-step lists of how to get your password activated. So like I mentioned before, the Hub Student Center is the place you're going to go to do pretty much everything when you're a UB student. Gaining access to that and becoming familiar with everything you can do in the Hub Student Center is really important. This is going to be the place where you're going to view and accept your financial aid package. So if you apply for financial aid or you're getting loans, this is going to be the place where you have to go to say that you accept them. You're also going to get messages about any of the services and deadlines specific to your needs and interests. So everything is going to be a message in this Hub system. You're also going to register for classes here. This is important to know. This is where you go to register. And then you can also view your class schedule and print that out. So this is 2 more screenshots. So this left-hand screen is what it looks like when you log in. It's very basic, but you just use your UBIT and password. Literally memorize those 2 things because you're going to use them all the time to log in. They kind of become your go-to for being a UB student. Your UB email is another really important thing. Once you confirm and decide you're coming to UB, it's really important to use that email address. Important information from our office, the department, the school in general, they're going to contact you with that email address, not the email address you used on the application. So it's really important to make sure that you start using that email address so that you don't miss any important information. Another great thing about MyUB is UB Learns, which is a program that the school uses for online courses. So some of you that are taking online classes may use either UB Learns or the Collaborate software, which you'll learn more about. Lastly, you'll also be able to view in this area if you have any holds on your account. In this section, on this right-hand side, I know there's small pictures, but I can always walk any of you through this if you are confused. On the right-hand side, there would be holds listed. So let's say you didn't turn in your health forms yet. There would be a certain hold that would prevent you from registering, or if you didn't pay a bill or something like that. That's where you can kind of go to check what's going on with your account. It's a good idea to get familiar with these different screens so that you understand what's going on with your account. If you have a hold, you won't be so confused. You can kind of figure it out and then go to the correct office to take care of this. We will be having 2 more people joining us tonight. From financial aid, we'll have a speaker just giving an overview of, hey, Jen. So Jen's here. And then we'll also be having Jim from Campus Living and Housing joining us. And I just want to say while I'm speaking to the virtual students that they are more than welcome to stay for the next 2 presentations. Even though they may not be coming to the campus to find an apartment, they're more than welcome to listen. So before I turn it over to Jen, does anyone have any questions? Does anyone online have any questions? Okay. Hi, Jen. All right, I will introduce Jennifer Pollard. She is from financial aid and can just give us a quick overview. So welcome, Jen. Thank you. Thanks for coming.
How are you? Good. I'm good, thanks. I brought masters too, so you can keep in your office, especially the sheets that I had already made copies of it, so you can oversee it. Okay, perfect. Yeah, if you want to, oh, you know, if they're not correlated, look at that. That's okay. Give me 1 minute, I can bring the stuff on the computer so that they can follow along. Okay, just do this.
Hi, just give me 1 minute so I can just... CLSS/IT, right, for Webman?
You don't have Buffalo spelled right.
No. Oh my goodness, there you go. Thank you. Somebody's watching.
Okay, it's not a slideshow, but at least I can go around this way. Hello again, I'm Jennifer Pollard, and I work in the Office of Financial Aid, and I work very closely with a lot of the graduate students. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, yeah, I forgot I'm being recorded. Okay, for virtual. I work with a lot of the graduate students here at UB. So what I'm going to do is to give you an overview of the financial aid process here, and then give you some tips on some things that you should know as a graduate student if you had financial aid in your undergraduate and you're going to be going into graduate school now for the first time. Start now. Okay. So the way we work here at UB is once you get into graduate school, the options for grant assistance from the state and the federal government no longer exist. That was a benefit to you as an undergraduate if you qualified. So once you get to graduate school, the Department of Education offers you through the FAFSA form. Now, did anyone here apply for undergraduate financial aid? Remember the FAFSA? Okay. So it's the same process. So as I say up here, when we apply for financial aid, you're going to be using the FAFSA, just as you did in your undergraduate, and this is all available to you on our website, and I'll show you the website too, but this is just taken off the website. So you're going to fill out your FAFSA if you haven't already, send it to UB. We will package you with the financial aid you're eligible for. Now, honestly at this point, what you are awarded is $20,500 in an unsubsidized Stafford loan. So once you get to graduate school, the subsidized eligibility, which is the interest paid for you by the Department of Ed that you can get as an undergrad, that does not exist. That funding source doesn't exist in graduate school. It's an unsubsidized loan. Now, the unsubsidized loan are still a great option to pay for your education because the interest rates are still lower than if you were to pay it on a credit card or some certain private loans. So that's what you're going to be looking at. So if you're applying to UB and you've been admitted and you're planning to come, you will be getting an award letter from us if you filed your FAFSA in the next 7 to 10 days. What happens is we communicate with you strictly by email. So everything's going to go to your buffalo.edu email address once you're an admitted student. So I heard Sarah alluding to the fact you want to start logging into your buffalo.edu email immediately because that's how we communicate with you. So what you will do is when you get this electronic notification from us, it says, congratulations, your financial aid is ready to view, accept, and decline. We can go back, and that is referring back to the hub where in the financial aid tab you can view your awards. Now you do not have to accept the full $20,500. You can accept 1,000 of it, you can accept 20,500. You can do whatever you choose to do. Or you can choose to not accept it because maybe right now you're not sure if you want to borrow. The loan is out there for you. It's your decision to take it or not to take it. Okay, any questions about that funding source? Yes?
So if you accept the $20,000
Up front, then you could spread it out if you take the 4 or 5 years.
Oh, okay. So what happens if you accept the $20,500? That's just for this year.
Okay.
Okay. So your tuition as an in-state student is $411 a credit. It comes out to $6,885, I think is what it is. I'm trying to think of all the tuition scholarship things they do. It's $411 a credit hour. I think it's $6,885 full time for just tuition. So when you take out $20,500, it will be dispersed in August. And it'll be dispersed again in January, before the fall semester and before the spring semester. So you have enough money in that funding to pay for your tuition and fees. What I find that becomes a challenge for the graduate students is if you were working full-time now and you stop working to come back to graduate school, you don't have that income that you did have, or you have the $20,500 that helps with your pay your tuition and fees, but you need those living expenses. So that's where the loan, which is called the Graduate Plus loan, allows you to do the difference. So what you can do as a graduate student is we build what's called a cost of attendance. So we factor in your tuition and your fees, and we give you, I guess you could say, an allowance for room, board, personal expenses, transportation, books, and supplies.
So your budget is around $34,000 a year. That's not your direct cost to UB. Your direct cost is the tuition and fees. But we really increase that to help you plan for the year, because I also found as a full-time graduate student, the students I've worked with, is it's hard to keep a full-time job and go to graduate school full-time. So they do, a lot of the students choose to borrow to help so they don't have to work full-time. And if you have a family or you have children, you have those, expenses as well. So you can do what's called the Graduate Plus loan, and the Graduate Plus loan, let's see where I put it in here. It's called a low fixed rate interest student loan guaranteed by the U.S. government. Now, the Graduate Plus loan, which is different than the direct loan, the direct loan is a guaranteed loan. So regardless of your credit history or your income, you're going to get that $20,500 no matter what. What will prevent you from getting that is if you are, if you happen to be in default on any of your loans from undergraduate, that would prevent you from getting a loan in graduate school. So if you find yourself in that scenario, you want to call our financial aid office, and we can assist you with clearing that up, because there is a process to help you get out of default should you find yourself in that situation, or if you know anyone who happens to be in that situation and they need to get help, we can work with them in the financial aid office. The Graduate Plus loan is a credit-based loan. They don't look at your debt-to-income ratio, so you still don't have to have an income because they know you're a student, but they do look at your credit history. And it's not credit score, it's by anything adverse on your credit. So if you have something 60 days late, that's considered adverse, and you would not be approved for the Graduate Plus. Yes?
So if you have no credit history, what is that?
That's fine, that's okay.
Okay.
Yes, yes. That is, what they're looking for is no adverse credit.
Okay.
So what you can do is, let's just say hypothetically, our budget here for a graduate student is $30,000, you're getting the $20,500, you're going to look at another $9,500 that you can borrow in the Graduate Plus. Now, anything that you borrow that once it is dispersed to your account and once your tuition and fees are paid, that's going to disperse to you in what we call a financial aid refund. And that refund is sent to you, and we encourage you to set up a process called direct deposit. Sir, did you touch it all on any of the student account stuff?
No.
Okay. So direct deposit is, there are two offices here, financial aid, which we administer all the financial aid, the loans and things like that, and then you have the student accounts office that manages your student bill and your refunds, and they accept all the money, and then they make sure your bill's paid and they refund you. If you set up direct deposit, you can have your refund from your financial aid within about 48 hours of the money hitting the campus. So it's a very quick process. If you choose to go the more traditional route and get a paper check, that takes about 10 business days. So it's just a longer process. You get the same amount of money, it's just you have to wait longer. So you can take out the direct and the Graduate Plus to help cover those costs. Perkins loans are very far and few between for the graduate students, but they are available, and then of course there are private and alternative loans. Now the private alternative loans are the loans that go through companies like, have you probably heard Sallie Mae, Citizens Bank, Wells Fargo. They have what are called private alternative loans. Now these loans can be borrowed for the full, again, cost of attendance minus any financial aid you're receiving. So you can choose to get an alternative loan. Sometimes the rates can be lower, but I just actually met with our Sallie Mae reps today, and our average interest rate on an alternative loan here at UB is 7.9%. So that is higher than a direct Stafford loan. So I encourage, especially as graduate students, because you do incur higher loan amounts, that you do go with the direct and the plus. But again, if you have an alternative loan and you've had a relationship with one of these companies for a number of years and you can get a better rate, that's great, but that's a relationship between you and the bank. Yes?
One more.
Sure.
The Graduate Plus, does it require a cosigner?
Good question. No, it does not. You can get that on your own. Yes?
You may have said this. What's the interest rate on the direct Stafford?
Yes, I knew you were going to ask that, and I didn't write it down. It's 3 point, the Stafford loan, the unsub is around 5%, and the plus is 6 and change. I wrote it down and I forgot to bring it. I always forget the rate. But I can even, we can look those up. But they're on our website as well. Yes?
One more, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
you know, this is why I'm here.
I've already consolidated my undergraduate.
Mm-hmm.
Are you able to consolidate graduate loans with?
You are.
Okay.
Yeah, so what will happen now is for any of you who have undergraduate loans, what you want to do now is once you're enrolled, at least in 6 hours here at UB, we're in graduate school in general, but hopefully here at UB, you can defer your loan. You contact the company you're paying now and say, I'm going to be going back to school, and they will put your loans in deferment. Okay, so you will not pay on those for as long as you stay enrolled at least half time at school. Now, you don't have to be enrolled in the summer, it's just a fall, spring thing. Once you finish, then you can turn around and you're going to consolidate those loans with that set of loans as well. You can do that. You can do all that through your servicer.
Okay.
So you can do that. But make sure you do tell them you want a deferment. Because once you're enrolled here, UB has a responsibility to send your enrollment to what's called a clearinghouse. So we let the loan companies know that you're enrolled here, but we don't do that until, 30 plus days into the semester. So you want to tell them and make sure that they know you're in school, because you don't want to miss a payment and become late on those loans. So I can tell you just a bit of advice. The worst thing you want to do is default on a loan serviced by the Department of Education or the government, because it's just there. You can't get rid of it. So you want to keep an eye on that. Okay, so that's loans. Now I'm going to talk to you what we share about graduate fellowships and scholarships. You didn't talk about any of this. Okay. I mentioned that there's no grant funding from the federal or state government at this level. Any additional funding at this level, once you're in graduate school, is through your individual academic unit or through the graduate school. Okay, so it's not something that, for instance, there could be a graduate tuition scholarship depending on what your area of study is. So, but that is all done through your academic department. Is there a specific application process for them to go through? No, it's a selection process? Okay. So that would be, that's the information we share about that on our website. And then we share this information about external funding opportunities, and then these are some of the different scholarship programs at UB. And they're all right in here like this. So you can go through all of that. And then at the end, the other piece that we offer here at UB to help you through the process is that we assign each of you your own financial aid advisor. So depending on your last name, you will be working with one person for the time that you're here. And that person can help you with your deferment paperwork if you need to do that. They can help you go over your plus loan, a budget, how much did you borrow, how much, did you hold on to, or maybe hold and maybe you don't need it, don't borrow it. So they're there to help you. Where you would look for your financial aid advisor is when you log into Hub, under the to-do list, it will say FA advisor and it will list a name. That person's name, next to it will have a little tab that says detail, and on that detail will actually give you their direct email address and their full name, and then you can email them directly and say, you can ask a quick question or ask to set up an appointment. And then you can either come in if you're here locally, or you can call in and have a phone conversation, or you can visit them right in their office. Okay, questions about how that works? Okay, a couple more things about the to-do list. Once you're a student and you're enrolled here and you've accepted your loan, on your to-do list, we are going to load what's called entrance counseling and a master promissory note. Now, if you were here for undergrad, we will still have your master promissory note, so we don't need it. We won't load it and ask you for one, but you will have to go out to the studentloans.gov website and do another master promissory note, and that's your application for the loan and your promise to pay. The entrance counseling, if you did again borrow an undergrad, this is you're borrowing a loan, you have to pay it back, that kind of thing. And then we ask for your entrance to complete the entrance counseling. So anything that we ask of you on your to-do list, you need to make sure you fill that out. If any of you here are not a U.S. citizen and you have any documentation that's pending, we would need and we would load that there as well. So anything we need to continue with your financial aid processing, we would do that on that to-do list. All right, questions about that? All right, so when you get to school, when you're in graduate school, what's the first thing you do with your undergraduate loans? Defer them, yeah. Make sure you defer them. You also, again, when you know, how much do you remember, did I tell you you can borrow in the direct loan program?
$20,500.
$20,500, and that will cover tuition and fees. So your tuition and fees will be covered by that loan. You just need to be concerned about the amount above and beyond. That's what you're looking for, and that's what you want to make sure that you have taken care of. Okay. Anything else you want me to cover?
I have a question just
Yes.
from one of our virtual students.
Sure.
Wanted a reminder on when they receive an email about their aid package, how shortly after, like how long does it take them to know that, I guess, is what they're
Okay.
asking.
We will be packaging all the graduate students in, like I said, in the next 7 to 10 days, and you will be getting an email communication to your buffalo.edu email address. So you want to make that active. We only package admitted students, so if you're still in the applicant stage, you will not get one, but you will get one once you're admitted. So that's about 7 to 10 days.
Perfect, thank you.
Yes.
Does the status of online or on campus affect the package, like the cost of attendance?
Very good question. Does the, yes, the on-campus versus off-campus. They're almost the same amount because if you as graduate students would be assigned to apartment living, and that pretty much averages close to what I think the off-campus budget is. It's almost exactly the same. So you would get that money and your bill to live on campus, that loan would go towards your direct charges here. If not, it would just refund for off-campus.
Right, so,
You do have the option though, if you find yourself, if this will happen often for students, is if you find that you're in an internship or you have a placement somewhere for one of your courses or something like that, and you find you're driving a lot and your mileage and your gas is a lot more than you expected, you can always come into the financial aid office and we can do what's called a budget increase to help you with those expenses. We can't meet you dollar for dollar for like a car payment or anything, but we run into this a lot with the medical students, that they end up having to work, let's say in Rochester for one of their rotations, and they have to pay for parking and commute to Rochester every day. Well, that's a lot more of an expense than we have built into the budget, so they can do what's called a budget increase and borrow additional loans. It's not, you don't grant money to put in there, but it does help. We also had a scenario when graduate students have children and have to pay for childcare. So that's also another time where we would increase your budget and you could borrow additional loans. We have a pretty good sized budget for off-campus living though. I think you get about $900 a month in your budget to help with those expenses. And again, we can't meet you dollar for dollar for everything, but we do give you a pretty good allowance.
and would that be, like, say you're an online student who's living in another state, would your cost of attendance and that housing and all that still be this, like,
Yes, you
similar?
would still have the
Okay.
allocation for the cost.
Okay.
And should you have run into different expenses, like you may not have transportation expenses, but you may have higher, I don't know, expenses in another way. So that would be something we work with.
Great.
And you know, actually, if you find yourself in that scenario, you want to contact us, because that's newer for us. We haven't been doing a lot of financial aid packaging for students out of state.
Okay.
So that's a newer for us. All right, any other questions? All right, good luck.
I just have one
Yeah.
question. Would you have anything to say about establishing New York State residency? Because we may have a few students
good question,
who are
yeah.
out of state
Correct.
and who might find it useful to establish in-state residency for
Okay.
tuition purposes.
There, you need to have your own residence in New York for 1 year. So what you would do is if you start in August, I think there's a deadline, and you can Google it on our, you can look for it on our buffalo.edu website, but there's a whole sheet, application you fill out, and you show proof of residency, a lease, a New York State driver's license. So you really, when you say New York State residence, you literally have changed everything. You can't just live here and then keep your Connecticut driver's license. You literally have to change it, have us see your license, you're paying taxes here, you're doing everything here. So you need 1 year minimum. to do that. And it does make a big difference in tuition. So if you know you're going to be here for 3, if you're, you know, you're studying your graduate work and then going on for your doctorate and you know you're going to be here for 6 years, it's definitely worth going through and becoming a New York State resident for tuition purposes like that. So there is an application online that you do. We collect them, actually we don't collect them in the financial aid office, the student accounts office collects them, and I believe it's 3 times a year, like February 1st, July 1st, and October 1st, something like that for each next semester. So if you start in August, you would be looking at the July 1 date for the following summer for that fall. Okay?
Thank you.
Great,
Thanks,
thank
Jen.
you.
Hi.
I think I logged out.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right. Did you need to use the internet?
I did.
Okay.
Online.
It's just refiguring really quick. Okay. All right, up next we have Jim Zielinski from Campus Living to talk about some of the housing options for our graduate students. Thank you.
You're welcome. Hi, everyone. I'm going to talk for about 10-15 minutes about housing options for living on campus. I work in residential housing operations, which is in 106 Red Jacket, which is in the Ellicott complex. I'm going to talk to you primarily about graduate housing because you're graduate students. Just give me a moment. I'll bring our website up. Okay. So first and foremost, welcome to UB. I am a graduate of UB as well as an employee of UB, so I probably sat in some of the same seats as you. On-campus housing, we have several options available, specifically for graduate students. Believe it or not, some graduate students choose to live in the residence halls, although that is not usually the case. So our primary options are in on-campus apartments. If you had a chance to drive around the campus at all, there are 2 complexes specifically dedicated to graduate students, and they are Flickinger Court and Creekside Village. Adult, professional, and graduate students, families as well, live in those complexes. Now, the process for applying for housing is different for graduate students than it is for undergrads. We actually are accepting undergrad apps using the same system, but what you'll see when I show you is that depending on what type of student you are, the application directs you to a different place. And I'm going to go online and just show you a few things. This is our main housing website, housing.buffalo.edu, and from there you can link to numerous locations, and they all seem to cross and run into one another, so you can get to the same place from multiple locations. But the most important thing to do for yourself is to check out the apartment housing options. And I'm just going to go there really quick. It clearly shows you the different choices. And as I mentioned, Flickinger Court and Creekside Village are the ones that are on campus for graduate students. But they are quite different. One thing that you can do is to click on this comparison chart to find out the difference between the two. It talks about family housing. It talks about contract length. We essentially have 2 contract lengths, 12 and 10 months. For graduate students, though, in Flickinger and Creekside, we do just 12-month contracts. We have some 10 months for law students and a few others, but essentially we are on a 12-month contract for Creekside and Flickinger Court. The style of the apartments, you can actually get a whole unit in Flickinger Court, but they're primarily 2-bedroom units with a common living room, kitchen, and bathroom. The Flickinger Court units are either furnished, fully furnished, or unfurnished. And what does that mean? A fully furnished unit has living room furniture, dining furniture, bedroom furniture. A furnished just has bedroom furniture. And then the common areas are empty, and then you can bring your own or share it with a roommate. And then finally, unfurnished has no furniture in them. Creekside Village has our fully furnished units. The locations are quite different. I don't have a map right now. I could probably go online and show you one. They're both on North Campus. Creekside Village is the newer of the two. It's a LEED certified building, a complex rather. It's located behind the Ellicott complex. And the Flickinger Court one is, it appears to be off campus, but technically it's not. It's across the street from Sweet Home Road, if you're familiar where that is. Regardless, though, the Parking and Transportation Office supplies a shuttle that goes back and forth to the campus for all locations, including both Flickinger Court and Creekside Village. I'm just going to, you can look at that at any time that you'd like, but I wanted to talk a little bit more about the specifics. Flickinger Court, if you were to click on here, as I mentioned, 12-month units, includes family housing. The nice thing is there's a photo album, so you can see what it looks like if you were to go on our website. You can click on any of those links. And it also has floor plans. Okay, again, the idea behind a two-bedroom in both Flick and Creekside is that you're going to occupy one private room and you're going to share the common space. Okay. And it also includes really specific dimensions about the units and so on. So those are kind of the nuts and bolts of what the apartments are like. Of course, you probably want to know what the difference in cost is, because there is some difference in how much it costs. So if you were to click up here and go on the rate sheet, scroll all the way down, and find the complex that you're interested in this case, Creekside and Flick, and the notes and the prices for 2014 and 2015 are listed. There's a major difference as well in Creekside and Flick in terms of how they're billed. Creekside is an all-inclusive. You pay one price. It gets billed directly to your student account. And the price that you see listed here is for an entire year, 2014, 2015. 12-month agreement. Agreement starts on the 16th of August, and it goes until the 31st of July. So even though it says it's a 12 months, it's just a little shy of that. If you were to renew and you would have that option for future years, it would be a continuous occupancy so that it would pick up at the end of the 31st of July. So first time around, it starts on the 16th. Any renewals continue straight through, so you would never have to leave. Flickinger Court actually is a monthly rental situation. Unlike Creekside, where it's billed to your student account, Flickinger Court, you pay monthly in the community building, in the village. It's much like living in an off-campus apartment, and as you can see, there's not a huge difference between the partially furnished, the unfurnished, and the fully furnished, and you can get a whole unit as well. There's basically a $10 difference between each of the levels, but the way that we've established them, there are almost an equal number of unfurnished, furnished, and fully furnished, just depending on what students need. A couple other things to note: Flickinger Court does not include utilities, so you would have to pay the utilities directly. You'd have them put in your name, and you would pay them just like if you were in an off-campus apartment. Flick was our earliest apartment. The way it was set up, the way it's located a little remotely off the beaten path of campus, it's actually owned by the University Foundation. That's why we have a different set of rules for it. So Creekside, more all-inclusive, billed to your student account. Flickinger Court, a little bit more like an off-campus apartment where you're paying monthly, you're paying your own utilities. And that also includes family housing. Just a few other notes. In apartment laundry facilities, they all have, they're fully furnished with major appliances, regardless of whether they're furnished or unfurnished. A few other things, internet is included and cable is included. So those are some things that are included in the base rent. Next thing you want to do is to just talk really about how you get one of these apartments. And you're going to go to how to apply. Just for your information, all of this is available obviously on the web, but in the back of the room at the table near the door, I placed several important pieces of information that you can take with you. This is just a summary of our graduate housing options, so everything that I'm showing you right now is in a paper format that you can grab with you. Why live on campus? This talks about all the pluses of living with us on campus. The rates are on the back, and there's a cost comparison on the back as well, off-campus versus on-campus. And then finally, this is our all-inclusive living on campus brochure. It includes residence hall information, but it also includes detailed information about each apartment complex. So those are in the back. You're welcome to take those. And I know you have, it looks like a delicious pizza dinner over here, but if you're looking for dessert, I also brought some chocolate bars. So there are UB Living on Campus chocolate bars, and our website is listed there, and our toll-free number as well. So I'll put some of those on the table. So how do you apply? Unlike the undergrad system where there's certain deadlines and dates where you have to go online, you self-select your room, or if you're a new undergrad, there's a process that we do over the summer. Grad housing is a little different. It is an online application, but apartment offers are made on a rolling basis. So if you were to go on our website, and actually it's right here, apply for housing, or you can just type in housing.buffalo.edu/apply, it would take you to the same page. Essentially you submit an application, and then in approximately 2 to 3 weeks, maybe less, maybe sooner, maybe a little bit later, depending on how busy it is, you will get a response from us about whether or not we have something available and what specifically we're making available to you. The application is pretty simple. You put your name, your UB person number, your year of high school graduation. That's more for undergrads who might be apartment eligible. Basically, if you put in that you're a grad student, it will take you to the grad application, and that would be under here. What type of UB student will you be? New incoming student, current returning student, and class standing is graduate. So that would actually take you to our housing application, and we receive that, and we check availability, and we make offers. The interesting thing is anybody who applies, regardless of whether you're a grad or undergrad, has until May 1st to cancel without any financial obligation. The one thing that's different about grads are everyone has a $25 application fee. That is not refundable, but once you're made an offer on an apartment, you would go in, you would make a deposit, and that would be fully refundable if you cancel by May 1st. I know we're getting close to May 1st. We're still in the process of making offers, but what that means is the available space is always moving. So even though we may have 50 units right now available, it could dwindle before May 1st and then get wider again after May 1st. So it's important to know that we're going to make offers well beyond May 1st, because there's also cancellations allowed after May 1st if you're leaving the university. So we will see some of those as well. And when you're made an offer, it could be a phone call to you, but it's always going to be followed up with an email that'll detail the exact unit, the pricing, the terms. If it's a Creekside apartment, and as I said, Creekside is more like a traditional on-campus residence, you'll be able to go online and confirm your offer online and make a $300 deposit that goes toward your rent online. If it's a Flickinger Court one, and as I said, Flickinger is a little different, there's a hard copy of a lease agreement that you have to print, you have to sign, you have to have it notarized. It's an actual lease. And that would also require a 1-month security deposit that's due upon your acceptance of the offer. And after that, you're locked in. And you're all set for the coming year. Can you cancel an apartment? I said that up until May 1st you can cancel any agreement without penalty. Can you cancel it afterwards? You actually can. But you have to have a valid reason, such as leaving the university, studying abroad, doing an internship, and as long as you submit that by November 1st, you would be able to cancel the spring semester portion of your housing if in fact you had a valid reason for leaving campus. I always tell students that because if you're looking for an apartment off campus, even if it's one of the private companies, such as American Campus Communities, you may not be able to get out of a lease if you have a reason for leaving. Whereas we cater to students. We know that you might have obligations off campus, away from campus, with professional opportunities. We do permit that. And that would be up until November 1st for the spring semester, so that is available. I don't have much more to offer other than my candy bars and the brochures. So I thought with the last few minutes I would just offer it up to you to see if you have any specific questions about on-campus housing. Yes?
If you want to live on campus, do you have to have a roommate for one of these houses, or is it random?
You don't have, it can be with a roommate. So if you have a friend, you would actually apply, and in your application you could say, yes, I would like to live with such and such a person. The roommate request has to be mutual, so the other person would have to apply and request you as a roommate. And we would do our best to try to get you to a match. You don't have to have a roommate. You would then actually be offered a random roommate based on what was available. Keep in mind that you're sharing a living room, a kitchen, a dining area, and a bathroom, but you have your own private, fully lockable bedroom. So it's sort of a semi-private arrangement. And honestly, a lot of the students enjoy it. They work great friendships, learn a lot from others. In a professional, graduate level opportunity like this, the roommate conflicts and issues are nothing compared to what we have in the freshman and sophomore and junior housing. So by the time you're graduate students, you can usually coexist and usually develop a relationship, usually a good one with your roommate. Do you have a question back there?
I just had more of a comment. For anybody that might be considering it, the UB Transportation Department does offer shuttles from the apartments to local stores on a couple days of the week, and that is something you can do if you're thinking about moving on campus but don't have access to a car.
Yeah, and you probably also know too they have zip cars available if you haven't seen them on campus. Where if you don't have a car, you can use the shuttles, but when you need to borrow one, you can grab one around campus and pay by the hour. So those work out really well too. Any other questions? I don't have much more. I can say though that I will leave candy bars at the back. I have my business card at the back. If you have any questions, by all means, feel free to call us at any time. We're in the process. We're probably, I would say, about a little more than half full, maybe half to 3/4 full right now, and we're still working on probably another 30. We just got like 30 applicants in recently. So again, we're still making applications. There'll still be cancellations. So if you have any thoughts of going for on-campus housing, you have a very good chance of getting what you want. And when you do the application, you have an opportunity to put your preferences in. So you will always be offered the chance to put in a first, second, third, fourth, and fifth preference, and so on. So if you wanted a Flickinger unfurnished, you can put that as your first choice, and so on. I can tell you, we're getting a little low on Flickinger Court. Creekside Village, we have quite a bit more availability. So if that's something that you're interested in, I urge you to apply as soon as possible. There is no deadline, but the sooner you get it in, the more chance you're going to get receiving something that you want. That is all I have. Thank you very much. And as I said, I will leave my information at the table.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So now we are all wrapped up in this room, and we are going to move to the 5th floor to have you all meet with your advisors and speak about courses and any questions that you want to speak with your advisor about.
So before you go, I've got a couple of requests. If you could put your trash, it looks like a lot of it was already picked up, but if you could just leave it over in the trash bin over there, that would be helpful. And, Selma, can I ask you to help bring this to the drinks upstairs? That would be great. I appreciate that, yeah. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you know who you have to see. You can trace upstairs with me. I will leave the path, but I just want to make sure that everybody knows who they're going to actually be meeting with. So Emily is going to be meeting with me because Dr. Crow is unavailable. Kristen, Jennifer, Katie, and Meredith will be meeting with Dr. Lloyd. Okay. Dustin is meeting with me. And have I finished everybody? Nobody's left out? Excellent, okay. So, follow me.
Thank you all again, the door is open, the emails available.
You have it, right?
All our
Okay.